Welcome to this Wisdom Wednesday episode on the 15th of April 2020, which is in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic, which means that the majority of Americans are staying home and doing social distancing. Today, we're going to look at that one thing that you want most to manifest in this lifetime. But first, let's review my philosophy so that we can all live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. Now, the importance of this way of being in the world is even more important at this date and time on the planet. Hi, I'm Carrie Fox, and my main mission in life is to be a constant reminder of our infinite wisdom connection, and to share my belief that each one of us came here with the intention of having a grand adventure, but we get sidetracked. So for the last few years, a lot of my attention has been focused on helping women who feel wounded, who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and my job is to help them get their mojo back. But today, my focus is on you and helping you to discover and stay focused on that one thing that you want to manifest in this lifetime. Now, this question is not about talking about manifesting money or a boyfriend or a job, but rather enticing you and encouraging you to remember you came here for a purpose. And I have an idea of what that purpose might be, but the important thing is, do you? Now, I remember as I followed my path through the decades, often wondering what I was supposed to be doing. And this question was usually in alignment with when I was looking for a job, or when I was wondering what sort of work I was supposed to be doing. I consulted many people who channeled or read auras. I took many different personality tests like Myers-Briggs and What Color Is Your Parachute, and some of you may be doing those things too. But I want to tell you today that you have a much higher calling than those things. Yes, it is important to have a source of income and a job, but while you are doing those jobs, even serving your community, you may have occasional glimpses of some view of the world that is second nature to you, but other people are missing the point. A point that you understand from the very depth of your being. Now, I won't go into this very far, but for me, it was people's perceptions of life and death. Now, I was very close to my maternal grandmother. She lived about a mile from us. Well, in fact, for the first few years of her life, she lived with us upstairs in a mother-in-law apartment that my parents had built for her. And she watched us as my parents worked. She was a widow, and during my childhood, she remarried, and they lived close enough to us that we saw her regularly. Now, my grandmother had disabling rheumatoid arthritis and was in constant pain. It broke my heart how much pain she was in. One morning when I was about 10, my mother had received an early phone call and came into the bedroom that my sister and I shared to tell us, as she was sobbing, that her mother had died during the night. My heart was filled with joy as I said, "Oh, how wonderful! Grandmother is free from all her pain." To which my sister responded by slapping me across the face in rage that I could say that. I was dumbfounded. And this was one of my first lessons that not everyone thinks the same way. Through the years, I witnessed that lesson over and over as I watched how other people responded to life's ups and downs, and I recognized that I had a unique perspective on life and death. And you know what? You have a unique perspective about something too. You have something about you. You have some zone of genius that you may not even recognize yet. But you will when you keep the idea of it in your awareness. And don't grab at straws. Don't look at individual skills or talents that you might have. They may not be your unique purpose, but they may be a way for you to deliver your unique purpose. Now, if you do not know your purpose yet, or if you are wondering about it, I have a couple suggestions for you. First is to have a meditation practice. A practice that you regularly allow yourself to get into a meditative state. a state that removes who you think you are, removes the thoughts and the judgments of your ego and this 3D world that you live in. Another is to really explore your joy. Spend time thinking about it and discovering it. When are you doing things that completely take you away from your consciously being aware of your 3D world? When you are so filled with joy and bliss that you transcend your perceived limitations. And a third is to take action on any bursts of bravery that you might have. Bursts of bravery to me are those momentary knowingnesses of your next step to take. And then you take it. Take action on those moments of inspiration. They are divine guidance and you know it. As you find the glory inside of yourself, beyond all the drama, you can dance the dance of life with a lot more rhythm. And you can recognize that you had the power all along, my dear. You know, one time in my career, I was wondering what to do for a job. And I had this inspiration to see if I could get a corporate job without a degree. And that idea had never entered my world before this moment in time. Now, at that time, I was a regional trainer for a real estate company. I was teaching new agents how to get into the game smoothly and armed with all of the skills and know-how that I could give them. But in my playtime, I was involved in the racing world, and most of my friends were drivers and mechanics and those of us that worked at the track. Now, I met a guy who was a good friend of one of my best friends. And when I heard him talking about his job as a trainer for Honeywell, I felt that burst of bravery, and I asked if he would put in a good word for me with his boss. We talked a bit about Honeywell and that they weren't hiring, but what their hiring process was and the degrees they required and what was my background, etc. And for some inexplainable reason, he said yes, he would talk to the manager of his department. Now, to make a long story really short, he did. I got hired. The manager found a way to go around the human resources department and their requirements, and I thrived in that environment. I traveled the country and had a relationship with Honeywell in one way or another for 20 years. Now, that was my Honeywell burst of bravery story. I saw it as a challenge, as a, I wonder if I can, and then the universe and cosmic consciousness and infinite wisdom all went into play all the way around. Now, this little girl is the image that I keep to remind me of the importance of those bursts of bravery. And another reason why acting on those bursts of braveries is important is because of the energy those bursts and action create. They are the currency of the universe. When you pay attention to anything, you are putting your currency behind it. Now, if you exist in an energy of fear and worry and hate, then that's the energy you are sending to the universe. I also call it your ordering system. You are requesting or ordering more of the energy that you are putting out. Well, with the Honeywell experience, I was ordering a belief and a surety and a confidence in an amazing and wonderful experience that I could bring a lot of life and joy and energy to. Now listen, by the way, I was the most requested trainer out of Honeywell's group of 2020 trainers who all had degrees from bachelor's through master's. Now that little glow of courage turned into a burst of fire and bravery as I went after my dream. Now, when I tried to think of what had changed in my way of looking at the world that I had at that time, and I could recognize that burst of bravery, I remembered in the years directly preceding that experience, 2 books stood out as having influence over me. One was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, and the other was Seth Speaks by Jane Roberts. Now, this is a good time for me to mention another belief that I have, and that is, please don't jump from book to book. Please don't jump from class to class, from course to course, from teacher to teacher. Give yourself time to really absorb the things that you are reading or learning. I'm a firm believer in letting things settle in. Allow yourself from deep inside of you to see how new thoughts sit with you. See how true or not they are in your world and in your life in this incarnation. So think about it. What influences are you embracing? What influences are in your life to help you live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being? Doing a little investigation, I have found that there are many, many children's books that are available right now, and I find this to be a very interesting thing, so hang on with me, and how reading children's books influence your inner child. There's Bo the Brave. She's a feisty little girl who learns that real monsters are in this brilliantly funny medieval adventure. And brave as can be, it's a playful portrait, that's hard, of fear and bravery. And it empowers young readers to confront once scary situations. And it has charming illustrations throughout. Another is The Wonderful Things You Will Be. It's a simple rhyming text revealing a parent's musing about what a child will become, knowing that that child has kindness and cleverness and boldness and will shine through no matter what, as will the love that they share. There's After the Fall, how Humpty Dumpty got back up again. Listen, I'm a sucker for fractured fairy tales. And this isn't quite a fractured fairy tale, but it's in the same vein. This is an incredibly clever way of taking on Humpty Dumpty after the fall. It exposes the emotional trauma following his traumatic accident and how he goes about conquering his fears. Now, not to give any spoilers here, but when I hit the last page, I was blown away. So clever, so many warm fuzzies when Humpty realizes his full potential. And then one more, it's called The Paper Bag Princess. When the fiercest dragon in the whole world smashes princesses, too many S's, Princess Elizabeth's castle. The fiery dragon burns out all her clothes, captures her fiancé, who's Prince Ronald. She takes matters into her own hands with her wits alone and nothing but a paper bag to wear. The princess challenges the dragon, shows her strengths in the hopes of saving the prince. So listen, earlier I told you that I would share my insights into why I think you are here. So here goes. Everyone incarnate on the planet right now came to help, to influence the way that people have fallen into self-centeredness, greed, fear, anger, and conflict. And I believe that you jumped at the chance to incarnate here and now. You chose your birthplace, your time in history, your parents, and your childhood situations. So those things would provide you with all the lessons and tools that you wanted or needed to develop your zone of genius, that you would serve the people of the planet in your own unique way. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to connect with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being, to become aware of your special skills and your unique way of viewing things that is your zone of genius. I invite you and encourage you. I stand by your side as you discover that one thing that you most want to manifest in this lifetime. Spend time in your bliss and your joy. Act upon your bursts of bravery and develop a regular meditation practice. I think daily is the best. Now, if you don't yet have a meditation practice, there are hundreds of YouTube videos to help you get started. But like I said previously, don't watch a whole bunch of them. Find one and try it for a few times. And if that doesn't get you there, try another one. And if you are someone who thinks that you can't meditate, I'm going to be doing a meditation workshop soon. It's designed specifically for those who have trouble meditating or visualizing or reaching that meditative state. It's that place where thoughts and awareness of who you were dissolve. If you want to get on the waiting list, just send me an email at meditationchallenge@harmonyenterprises.net. And I will put you on the waiting list to let you know when this comes about. I expect it to happen in less than a month. So now let me share one last thing with you today. And that is, who are you really? This image shows the way that most people think of themselves in relationship to spirit or higher self. Maybe they have this little soul pocket in the middle of their chest where their spirit or soul resides. But the majority of themselves, the majority of their intentions and sensations, their thoughts and their behaviors, they're all involved in their physical bodies, the human beingness of themselves. What's happening to them? What are they doing? Oh, and yes, by the way, they do have a spiritual connection. But this image on the right puts that into a much more accurate perspective. That the spirit, soul, universe, source, cosmic consciousness, infinite wisdom is so much bigger than our humanness. It's only a small sliver of that energy that becomes us, the human part. Your human incarnation is that which infinite wisdom dreamed into being and create that cellular being, which is you living on the planet Earth. Now, this is what I call dual citizenship. The fact is that, yes, you are a citizen of planet Earth. You are a 3D human being in this incarnation. But more importantly, you are an extension of the consciousness of the universe, of all that is, of the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. That brings me to reminding you to live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. Now, I truly hope you gained some inspiration today, and that during this time of turmoil on the planet, you can see the importance of focusing on today's theme. And please join me for more inspiration and guidance on my Facebook page, which is Harmony Enterprises with Carrie Fox, because my mission is to inspire. So thanks for sharing this time with me today. And remember, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's time to get your mojo back. Bye for now.